Right, hello guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing, is old COD better than new Call of Duty? Yes, that's right. I'm going to be talking about, is older Call of Duty games better than the current Call of Duty games that we've been getting? Kind of discussing what has changed since the old COD era. We're talking Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, the original MW2, the original MW3, even COD 4, and kind of comparing them to what we get nowadays since MW 2019, since Call of Duty Warzone, Black Ops 6, of course, MW2 and MW3. We're going to be discussing and kind of comparing both eras and really discussing, has Call of Duty actually improved since the olden days? Are we actually seeing better quality of games and better, like, things in terms of like actual quality of the games, quality of like service when it comes to Call of Duty? So today, to talk about this, we are going to play some Black Ops 1, classic, great game, still available to be played here in 2024/2025. Literally, as I've been making this video, we're about 6 hours away from 2025. So this is still going to be playable through, of course, reverse compatibility, which I'm playing through my Xbox Series X. If you didn't know that, you can do that. You can play through your Xbox Ones, Xbox Series X, etc. Fantastic. And of course, we are still waiting for these games to hopefully come to the Game Pass, which is kind of why I'm talking about these as well, because at some point I feel we are going to get the chance to play either the current modern Call of Duty games or the new Call of Duty games and the old Call of Duty games. I kind of want to discuss that today, like the differences of kind of what's improved, like what's good about old COD, what's bad about old COD, what's good about the new Call of Duties, what's bad about the new Call of Duties, and kind of compare that today. So like I said, today we're going to play some Black Ops 1. 2,200 online, even though it says that, I think most of that is zombies. As you can see, there's only 268 in TDM, so we'll get into that. But first, I want to talk about one comparison, right, between the new Call of Duty games and the old Call of Duty games that kind of surprises me, but also doesn't, because of obviously new Call of Duty games do have skill-based matchmaking. These older Call of Duty games do also have skill-based matchmaking, but nowhere near to the levels of what we see nowadays. But things like this, preferences. Now, obviously, party privacy, we have that in the modern games. You know, you can close and open your party. But here, search preferences. Did you know you could do this? You could have it to defaults. You could just search regardless. Local or local only. You could prioritize your matchmaking. You had more control of your matchmaking back in the olden days. Is that not crazy to some people? I know some people might not know this. Some of you might not have played Black Ops 1, etc. I believe Black Ops 2 also had this feature. I'm not sure how many of the old CODs had this. But the fact that an older Call of Duty game gives you a better like option when it comes to searching for better lobbies, etc., in terms of ping and stuff, that's crazy to me. But anyway, I'm also going to show this. So this is matchmaking. Did you see that? Blink of an eye. Was that even a second or 2 seconds? I have found a lobby in Black Ops 1 with only about 300 players or 200 players, however many it is, in Team Deathmatch. Compare that to Black Ops 6. It takes at least 30 seconds to a minute to find a game. And I found a lobby that hasn't even started yet. Is that not crazy to you guys? Like, I find that insane. The older Call of Duty games still, like, search quicker, much better, like, matchmaking times. This connection so far looks like 4 bars for everyone, so it's pretty decent. It is peer-to-peer, though, so that's kind of going to be a topic of discussion here as well, which is, you know, are the peer-to-peer servers better than the dedicated servers we get nowadays? Possibly, you know, that discussion is there to be had, because obviously the current Call of Duty games have a lot of lag issues, right? We have seen it plenty with the newer Call of Duty games. Packet burst, packet loss, high pings caused by, you know, bad matchmaking, etc. And it's kind of insane to say, you know, that there are some aspects of older Call of Duty games that are actually better than the current and newer Call of Duty games. Now, I'm not doing this to just absolutely slate on the current era of Call of Duty games. Obviously, most people, I think, are going to agree and say that older Call of Duty games are better. But I want to talk about them, you know, and just showcase some of the things that are still great about older Call of Duty games now that newer Call of Duty games don't compete with. Like, even the gameplay here, like, this still competes. It still looks pretty good graphically. It's not insane. Like, it's not overly over the top, like, incredible, graphics, like 1080p even. I'm not even sure if it's 1080p. It might be worse than 1080p. But I don't really care, to be honest, you know, and I don't think most people do when it comes to older Call of Duty games, you know? At the end of the day, it's not about the graphics of Call of Duty. Most people, what do? They lower their graphics settings anyway to get the higher FPS, the better, you know, they raise their FOV and stuff. These games don't even have, like, 120 FPS or field of view settings, etc., but they're still fantastic to play now. And that's what I love about old Call of Duty game. We have lost this, you know, and I know most of you are going to agree with this and be like, Taz, you're making a very pointless video here. Like, everyone's going to agree. However, I know there are some people who have never, ever touched these old Call of Duty games and are probably waiting for them to come to the Game Pass to have their own experience and be able to judge for themselves whether or not these old Call of Duty games are good in their eyes and that. And I can't wait for the people who do get that chance to be able to experience these. Because, I mean, look at that. Like, the kill streaks, for instance, most of these old COD games, even if it is just Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, there are so many good kill streaks in these games. And then maps. I think maps have taken such a downhill, like, such a downward spiral since the older COD games. Can you really sit there and say that any of the current Call of Duty games, like since MW 2019, have made maps that aren't remakes, by the way, like are actually brand new maps to Call of Duty that rival these maps? Like, we're talking Nuketown, like even this is Hanoi, you know what I mean? Like, this is it Hanoi? I can't remember, I believe it's called Hanoi, but this is a better map than most of the maps we get nowadays, and I think that's insane. And of course, this, you know, the lack of skill-based matchmaking makes it a more enjoyable experience too. And I'm having much more fun playing this than I am with the current games. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's insane. Anyway, why am I not calling them dogs? Now, of course, the kill streaks don't loop, but then Black Ops 6 kill streaks don't loop either. They seem to change it every single year with Call of Duty. Like, one day the streaks will loop, next minute they don't. We don't know if they change it because of, you know, wanting lesser players to have more of a chance or something. I don't know. I really don't understand it. Like, modern Call of Duty, I personally think, has digressed, I think is the right word. It's went so negatively backwards compared to what Call of Duty used to be. It used to be about being the best player in the lobby, prestiging, looking really cool with your prestige and that, playing on really good maps, you know, no skill-based matching. It was all about connection, you know, not what they do nowadays where they say, oh yeah, we do prioritize connection. They just don't. Look at, like I said, before we even like got into this game, what did I showcase to you guys? A option to be able to like kind of dictate your matchmaking, not to the point of picking who you do play and who you don't play, but the fact that you can basically make it so you have a good lobby of ping or a bad lobby of ping, you know, whether or not you want to just get into a lobby quicker, etc. I find that absolutely incredible, you know, that sort of thing exists. And wow, I can't believe that got taken out so quickly. But, you know, just even that, you know, like the kill streaks are so much better. Yes, I know I just lost my kill streak in like half a second there. I don't know if they had a SAM turret or something somewhere, but that doesn't normally happen in these Call of Duty games. But yeah, like, I will also just talk about, of course, the newer Call of Duty games. The newer Call of Duty games do actually have things that, like, are better than the older COD games. And the only things I can really think of are just content, really. Obviously, updates and stuff. It was a little bit different back then. Like, these games wouldn't get updates the way they do nowadays. Like, it had to be all authorized by Microsoft, and you'd get it, like, once every month or so, or 2-3 months, I don't know. I can't remember how the DLCs worked, and you had to like buy the DLCs most of the time and stuff, which I am grateful for. Like, I will say that for the new Call of Duty games, that you don't have to buy DLC anymore. Like map packs and stuff like that are all free. That's a great improvement. Like, I can't take that away. Content wise, we do get events every so often. You know, I think Black Ops 6 so far has been doing a poor job when it comes to that, but we do get events nonetheless, you know, that are supposed to, you know, make the game more exciting, more fun, give you something to grind for. I think that's the only thing I can really give the newer Call of Duty games over the older Call of Duty games, is the fact that there is always something to grind for. You know, the camo grinds are a lot better, I'd say. Like, yes, it's a lot more tedious, but the camos are much more cooler. But that is obviously going to be due to the fact of limitations. Obviously, these old Call of Duty games came out on Xbox 360s, PlayStation 3, you name it, older generation of consoles, right? Very limited to what they could do. But the fact that these games still compete, and I think a lot of people would, if they had the choice, you know, to be able to play this or the new Call of Duty games, like, you know, let's say like these games had a revived player based and there were plenty of people to face all the time and stuff, because that's the only real thing stopping people. And of course the cheaters, right? Both games suffer from cheaters, but none more the others than less, more than the others, sorry. Like, older Call of Duty games, I'd say, have far less cheating problems than the newer Call of Duty games. Now, yes, I know it can happen every game in this game, but I'd say, like, the fact that it happens in these older Call of Duty games isn't really, like, not expected. These games haven't been updated, etc., so it's not out of the realm that sort of thing would happen, right? But the newer Call of Duty games suffer with cheating just as much as the older Call of Duty games, right? And I can't say there's a big difference, you know. At the end of the day, with the older Call of Duty games, the good thing is I can just leave the lobby and find a game pretty quickly. You find a cheater in your lobby in, like, Black Ops 6 or that, what's going to happen? You're going to have to leave that game, find a new game. But even when trying to find a new game in the newer Call of Duty games, what happens? You find the same lobby over and over again because of skill-based matchmaking. Whereas in these older COD games, like, if there was a cheater in this lobby right now, I could leave the game, find a new lobby, and then instantly, you know, probably find a game without a cheater. Like, it would take me maybe even like 3-4 games of searching You know, I've got NoobTube there. That doesn't matter too much to me. You know, at least it's not like MW2 with their NoobTubes. But these older COD games, I think, have so much more than the newer COD games. I generally do think there's a lot of aspects to these games that are better than the newer games, and I think a lot of you won't disagree with that. Like I said, the matchmaking, stuff like that, the overall fun, like, it's still Call of Duty. Yes, it doesn't have, like, stock and, you know, being able to move as fast. There's no slide cancelling, which, give or take, some people are going to hate, some people are going to like. That's a very subjective argument. Obviously, this whole argument is going to be subjective regardless. Like, some people, I think, are going to sit there and say that they do like the newer COD games, which is fair enough. If you like the newer COD games, there's no disagreement with that. Now, I'm not saying I completely hate the new era, right? I'm happy to play the new era. You know, sometimes the games are good, sometimes they're not. But I think there's so many aspects to the older games that are actually better and hold up better than the newer games, and I don't understand why we've gone so far backwards. Of course, Activision says that what they've done with the newer games and stuff does make the games more playable, that there's more people enjoying the newer games, at least in their eyes. At least I imagine they're saying that because, of course, you know, they're getting more people buying the game each year. We don't really know what the actual casual place's thoughts are, and when I say casual, we're talking about the people who don't look at Twitter, don't look at Reddit, don't watch YouTube videos, probably are never ever going to see this video when it comes to Call of Duty, etc. They just buy the game every year, probably knowing that their friend's going to buy it, and they play zombies or whatever is available to them, multiplayer, Warzone, of course, Call of Duty Warzone. It's just that type of experience for them. It's just casual and anything. But I think a lot of things have gone from Call of Duty now, like, that were good back in the day, and I think a lot of that has been lost. These old COD games, I personally think, when they do come to Game Pass, which I think is a lot closer than some people think, simply because they have been appearing on the Microsoft Store for PC, which has never happened before. Like, we have never seen these old COD games appear on the Microsoft Store for PC, which is very interesting and does lead to the fact that these are probably going to be on the Game Pass sooner rather than later. And I'm kind of hoping so, because I want to see it. I want to see what happens when we actually are given the chance to play old COD games versus new COD games at the same time. Will people actually go back and play these games more so than the new Call of Duty games? That is what I'm interested to see. But yeah, new Call of Duty, I'd say, just has content over the old Call of Duty games. But old Call of Duty games, I think, have probably better connections, better choice when it comes to matchmaking, quicker matchmaking, better matchmaking. There's no skill-based matchmaking. The cheating issues, they both exist in each game. It's kind of here or there. But with the newer games, if you find a cheater, more likely than not, you're going to leave that game and then find the exact same lobby with the cheater. But in these old COD games, you find a cheater, okay, it's going to happen more often than you do get it in the newer games. But you can leave that lobby, find a new lobby super quick, and then have no cheaters. And then, you know, you keep doing that here or there. And I think things like maps, kill streaks, there's a lot of things that older Call of Duty just has better than the newer games. Like newer games, like for instance, Black Ops 6, we've had such a bad reputation with maps so far that we're having to go back and get old maps from older games just to make, you know, make there be good maps in the newer games. And who knows, we could see some Black Ops 1 maps appear in Black Ops 6. We could see some Black Ops 2 maps appear in Black Ops 6 because the older maps are just better than the newer maps. I think even things like stat tracking, like I'll quickly go to that right now. Look at the combat record. Look how detailed it is. Look how, is this not better than what we have now? Like, I can see everything. I can see kill streaks. I can see contracts. Like, contracts are such a better thing. There's so many things about older Call of Duty games, and I'm not just talking specifically Black Ops 1. I'm talking specifically overall. I think older COD games are better than the newer games, and I think we've actually gone so far backwards with things like skill-based matchmaking. There's actually an anti-cheat to stop cheaters. Again, obviously, I know crossplay is a thing in that, and that's why kind of cheating is more prevalent in the newer games. But still, we had JTAD Xboxes, stuff like that, and there were nowhere near as many of those people on these older COD games as there is with the new games when it comes to cheating. But you guys let me know down below, what do you think? Do you think older COD games are better than new COD games? Have you ever played an old Call of Duty game? Let me know down below. I'm interested to know your guys' and girls' opinions. Let me know down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe notifications on, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye!